That'll be our call to order. Thank you.
All right, so coming out of closed session, we voted in favor for student case number 24-11. Voted to expel. Motion was made by trustee Lopez Pardo, second by trustee McAllister in a 4-0 vote. Do we have any adjustments to the agenda?
We do have adjustments to the agenda. Number 11.1A will be tabled till March. That's to explore the feasibility of a bond measure. Greg Isom, who was going to come to present, is sick today, so couldn't make it. So he'll be here in March.
Oh, we do have time.
Yeah, we're okay in terms of the process and the timeline. So thank you.
All right, and trustee Lopez Pardo, can you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, and tonight we are honoring our Healdsburg Junior High band that is going to participate.
Yeah, they did participate, actually. Yeah.
In the Sonoma County.
Yep.
Who are participants in the Sonoma County Honor Band. So
we've got 4 awesome students here who are going to play for us, and I want to introduce Mr. Natelli, who is our band teacher, conductor, maestro, who does a fantastic job at the junior high and high school, not only teaching kids how to play, but becoming passionate learners and enjoyers of music. So, John, did you want to say anything, introduce?
Mr. Natelli, can you speak into the mic for the Zoom participants? Thank you.
Sorry, you have to turn the mic on.
It says push on it.
Okay, are we on?
You're on.
Oh, that sounds awful. We have Aubrey Parnay here on flute for the 3rd time, but 3 of Aubrey is fantastic. We have Jack Beckman on trumpet, Silas McAllister on alto saxophone, and Johnny Flores on clarinet. And these 4 junior high students participated in County Honor Band, as well as 5 high school students participated in the high school version of the County Honor Band. So, yeah.
Thank you.
We're going to do 2 short pieces for you guys tonight. The first one is called Serenely, and the second one is called Triumphantly. They are both by a gentleman named John McAllister, no relation to our McAllister family here that we know of. Do I turn this off now?
Great job, guys. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and congratulations on making the honor band. That's awesome.
I'll second that. Great job. Thank you for waking us up. We fell asleep in the other room, but thank you. Seriously, it was great. And keep it up. I mean, I say this as a non-music student, but my 3 kids are musicians, I guess, and they love it, and they're way old. And so keep it up, please, because it makes us all happy.
Thanks so much. Thank you for having us.
Thank you, John. Public comments. Do we have any public comments?
Do we have any public comment?
We do have a public comment from Sharon Pollock, who's a teacher at Healdsburg High.
Good evening, board members, Superintendent Vanden Heuvel, and guests. Tonight, officers from the Gender and Sexualities Alliance Club at Healdsburg High School were supposed to give a presentation to you all. If they were here, they would explain to you the importance of creating a gender-neutral multi-stall restroom on campus so students of all genders can go to the bathroom with their friends and without fear. They would also tell you how difficult it is to be an LGBTQIA+ student at Healdsburg High School and share stories of the discrimination and bullying they faced. Unfortunately, their voices will not be heard tonight because they are afraid of negative adult feedback. 2 months ago, the Healdsburg High School student design team presented the results of listening sessions they held with their peers around changes that might need to occur at HHS and in the district. Though both the process itself and their findings may have been flawed, what they did that night took immense courage, thought, and planning. Since that time, these students have endured a public board comment from an HUSD faculty member who stated their report was full of false information, and the subsequent effects of this comment has left them confused, hurt, and bewildered. There are also reports that some students may have been approached by members of HHS staff regarding these findings in ways that have exacerbated this sense of hurt and betrayal. While I have not personally observed this happening, even the suggestion that my colleagues would speak this way about or around these courageous students deeply concerns me. Speaking out for social change is one of the bravest things a person can do. And as teachers, when students build up the courage to voice their concerns and offer suggestions, we should be their advocates, not their adversaries. On behalf of GSA students and other students promoting school-wide change, I call upon my colleagues, including myself, to do better. Take a step back and listen, rather than immediately going on the defensive when students offer their perspectives and ideas. Realize that they are still very much learners, and we are there to help facilitate their growth, not silence their voices to maintain the status quo. Remember that there are many avenues to address the flaws in processes and reports that maintain the dignity of our students' efforts. Understand that we are not in danger, even though we might feel uncomfortable when thinking about implementing classroom or school change. Most importantly, please adopt a zero-tolerance policy in your classrooms towards hate and bigotry. Protect your marginalized students. Place kindness at the forefront and model collegiality, professionalism, and respect for all students. I want to thank my administration and Mr. Vanden Heuvel for responding to GSA students' fears with urgent concern, for providing them with a safe space for discussion and an alternate avenue for presenting their findings to the board that doesn't make them feel as if they are placing themselves in harm's way. I also want to acknowledge my colleagues who work intentionally to create classrooms where students feel seen, heard, and respected, while recognizing there is always room for growth. I am hopeful that we will continue to move forward in the name of social justice to make HHS a hate-free zone where all adults are compassionate listeners and student advocates, and where all students feel safe enough to once again let their voices be heard. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Sharon.
Ms. Pollock, I just want to thank you for coming and speaking. And I wish that our, I wish that our students felt comfortable in coming, and please, they are always welcome and we will always listen.
Thanks, Mike. I'll pass that along.
And are they going to submit something?
Yes, you'll be
Awesome.
receiving
Good.
something from me.
Perfect. Thank you.
Anybody want a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye.
Awesome. Now we're moving to 11.1B since we're not doing 11.1A. So I will introduce our construction manager from Counterpoint Construction Services, Tanae, and she's also a parent in the district of a junior higher and a high schooler, which is crazy. Tanae Dale.
Can you hear me? Great. And then do I need to control it or? Didn't bring my cheaters. Well, welcome and thank you for having me today to talk about our facilities. I realized it has been since November of 22. I've been busy over the last year doing lots, but I think that was the last time we did a really big facilities update. So it's great to be here again and just sort of go over everything that we've been doing. And I'll see if I can, need instructions on how to do this. So tonight we're going to cover what we have done at the high school and at the junior high. That's mostly with our bond monies, and then give you some updates on the elementary school projects and where we are with those. Look at our total project costs, and then next steps and questions. So here is our list. It's been a whole long list of things that we've done over the last 10 years here in the district. So we've completed the full modernization of the B and C wings, the new science and STEM building, completely re-roofed, and HVAC, dry rot repair, some partial flooring replacements throughout the main building. That was sort of a two-phase project. We had to get through one bond and then pass a second bond to do that. Full modernization of Smith Robinson and the boys' locker room, the new gym. We have our brand new sports fields, which feel like they've been here now forever, but that wasn't that long ago. Some ag farm work in the area there with the classroom, landscaping throughout the campus, the conditioning room, and our most recent last summer crazy summer slam project was all of the classrooms themselves, modernizing all the classrooms.
I have a quick question on the landscaping.
Yeah.
Are we using native plants or imported?
No, the goal everywhere what we have done landscaping on the campus are using native plants. That the idea being that once they're established, they don't need to be watered. So that's the goal.
Thank you.
Sure. So that's a big long list. We have a couple projects still in the works. Our last couple, and the Frost Hall modernization, which is actually slated to start as soon as school is out, into a wrestling/performing arts area. So that has already been awarded, and we're heavily into getting all our submittals and things done. So that starts this summer. And then we're in the just the early planning stages of a front entry, sort of fixing that entrance there and some of the parking areas there. That'll be sort of the last piece on campus we haven't touched. So that's in the planning stages.
And worth noting, the Frost Hall modernization will go through October?
Yeah, it's slated to go through October.
Is it better if we save our questions till the end?
Hit me now.
Where is the design process on the front end, on the campus entry?
It's just in early stages. I'm looking for a proposal from an architect. So really early.
Yeah,
Okay,
like on
great.
napkins.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right.
From
I
like
just
5
was
years
wondering
ago.
if there was like a plan I
No,
haven't seen
we
yet.
will bring it when we have one. But
Okay.
We're really early on that, but I got to get going on that.
Thank you.
Yep. At the junior high, again, we've pretty much touched everything there. So we've replaced the portables. Those of you who remember when we had portables across the street there, fully modernized the main original building, modernized the gym and the locker room, and created a great STEAM space. Painted the existing NPR and kitchen and did some HVAC work there. And then, of course, the last project was our all-weather field, which seems to be getting a ton of use. So, we're pretty much, I don't think there's a space on that campus we haven't touched yet. So it's in good shape.
Can I backtrack for 1 second and just say that the freshman, like tour night just happened recently, and I think it was just really, really obvious to everyone how fantastic all of the facilities look. Even my husband, who gets the blow-by-blow from me about what's happening, was like, wow, these facilities are beautiful. It looks so great. So
As somebody who's married to a Healdsburg High graduate, and he's always like, this looks nothing like when I went to school here.
Yeah, I want to say also kudos to the board for supporting. We did that all-weather field at the junior high, kind of a last-minute change, right? And it's been a complete game changer there, in my opinion. It's usable during the rain, so kids are out there running around, and it's just a lot of fun to see it being used.
So back when we met last in November of 2022, the board approved the master plans for the elementary campuses. And so this is the Healdsburg Elementary School master plan that was approved. And we've been working over the last year on the first project, which is going to kind of be the biggest of them. There might be a few little things we do here and there, but that project is in design for the roofing and HVAC, and also to do the front entry beautification accessibility upgrades. So those are the two big pieces that are in DSA right now. We're going through getting permit approvals for those. But at the same time, this summer, I am replacing the large play structure, which is very old and dated, and then also demolishing the last two portables in the district. And creating a nice little synthetic turf area for the kindergarten yard to be able to use. So that's outside of the DSA work that we're doing. That's just some maintenance work that we're doing, and that'll happen this summer. And then the next summer, the big project will be all the other work.
And remember, I don't know if you have this in there, you guys had established a prioritized list for projects for us to do. So we're ticking those off as we go.
Yep, that is correct.
Can you describe or show on the map where that playground view, what's the footprint of that new playground view?
It's so funny when they give us to these because they don't use our site.
Right,
it's like this is random
generic
green,
school
field that this playground is in, but this is the big playground, the playground that the first and second graders use. And so I don't know. Can I point with this thing? I don't know. It's see sort of the dark purpley kind of two squares. That's where it's at.
That dark brown adjacent to the field.
Right next to the field.
Yeah.
So it's basically kind of going into a similar footprint to where the existing.
We're doing exactly the same footprint. So I'm not doing site
The
work.
big toy.
Yeah.
Big toy. My kids have a problem with that name, the big toy. Every time we talk about it. Big toy.
Yeah, it's going in the exact same footprint. We're not doing a lot of site work. This is take the old one out, put the new one in. And just adjacent to that, you'll see the green area. That's where we're demolishing the two portables that are left and then creating a synthetic turf area. Any other questions on that? All right. And this is the Fitch Mountain Campus Master Plan that was approved. We have been through design. You have actually already awarded this project. And there's a couple slight minor changes to this, but they were vetted through meeting with the campus and the administration and the staff and tweaking this. But what this entails, this is another big chunk here, roof and HVAC are warm, safe, and dry items, providing two new shade structures, one that the largest of for lunch near the library NPR area, and then a smaller one over sort of near the garden. Restriping the parking lot. This is going to be a big change where we're going to come in the other direction now and drop the kids off on the right side of the car instead of making them walk around and in front of the vehicles. So everybody get ready. This is
first day of school is going to be fun. Yeah.
We've already started talking
I'll be out there, Erica.
Messaging and maps and all that kind of stuff. So, but this includes that. And then doing landscape. If you go by that campus, you see that the landscaping is very barren and needs a fresh refresh. So includes all of that. And then a second new play structure. And this is the play structure. I'm really bummed that my kid no longer goes to Fitch because he would have thrived on that play structure. So he's past that at this point.
I have a question on, I guess, the landscaping as well as the shade structures. And it's my question, but also at least 2 or 3 community folks have asked me, will there be trees? Okay.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
shade or whatever.
So we're not getting rid of any of the existing tree. That's not true. There's 1 or 2 that are not growing very well that'll be thinned out, but most of the trees along, what is that, University there, all of those are staying. We'll have planting in between them now. Right now it's just bark. So that whole area will get.
But within the play area or the?
So there are trees already in the main play area. We're adding a couple and moving a couple that are not placed well. But no major additional trees inside the actual playground itself. But they'll have 2 new shade structures, which they don't have now. And that was a big need, was getting some shade at that, because it can be a big sea of asphalt right there.
Thank you.
So, I'm sorry, I'm going back again to the restriping of the parking lot.
Yeah.
So is the deal that the traffic flow is going to be coming in from like over where the dumpsters are, and then all of the parking spaces are going to slant the other direction.
Yep.
And then it's going to be a consistent kind of passenger side drop-off lane going
Exactly.
all the way around?
All the way around.
Okay.
So,
And then everyone's going to head out.
So children don't have to walk in front of cars anymore.
yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Yeah.
The existing system has like
Yeah.
17 problems, but
Yeah, so you'll come in and I did it the other night illegally because it's not that way, but I was like, I want to see how this feels when I was picking up my son from there. So you'll come in there by the multi-purpose room, and the main drop-off will be right there, and then you come around. The kind of a little bit awkward part of it is that the main office, you have to go all the way through the parking lot too, but it still seemed like it's better to get the kids on the safe side of the car.
And is there going to be any changes to the curbs there and that kind of entryway into that? Because it is a little bit of like a...
Yeah, it is a little bit, but the good news is cars come in out of there, so it makes it, and that's a really wide street, because that street was planned for the buses, right? The buses line up there. So you've got lots of width there. So it's not like you're trying to turn on a tight angle there. But it's going to take some training for sure.
Well, that sounds great. Thank you.
Yeah. So money, because that's a huge part of what I do. So our Measure D bond, the $67 million, here's just a rundown of where we are with the completed projects and the 2 that are left. So we're right there. We're still right there within budget with everything. Frost Hall and the front entry, obviously, we haven't done any planning on that yet. So, but that's where we're at. I don't know if anybody has any questions. Some of the projects came over, some of them came under, but altogether, we're still right there, which is fantastic. Any questions?
$3 million for the front entry?
Well, the front entry includes that terrible parking lot.
Oh, okay. Okay, that makes sense.
We're gonna have to do some work there. That parking lot is in dire.
You're thinking a huge LED sign?
You're like, I'm thinking kind of a Golden Gate Bridge representation
like
with like
Vegas. Yeah.
Is that like the Van den Heuvel Memorial sign? Is that what that is?
Jumbotron.
No, it's the entire front parking lot plus the Redwood Grove. Honestly, let's be public about it. Those trees are dying, and so that's going to need a huge facelift.
Okay, that makes sense, because I remember that line item being quite a bit smaller, and I didn't realize that it had all those things. By the way, total congratulations for sticking to the budget amidst many, many changes since this bond was approved. So please don't.
It's incredible.
Incredible. It's incredible.
I'm super proud. I'm really happy. We've had a great team and worked really hard. So yes, so we did have a little bit extra money by the time we were there, and we said, since we have that, it's a need, right? That parking lot needs a lot of work, and the Grove, like if we can do some improvements to help that area as well. So,
terrific. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Yes, just a notation, bond dollars can only be spent at the high school and the junior high. But we did get some reimbursement money And that reimbursement money is what's going to pay for the current HES and FMC projects. And so there's our budgets for those. And I have not bid the HVAC and roof or the front entry at HES yet, but so far we're within budget. So there's where we are with the reimbursement funds that we got. And two pictures, and I was laughing because I wanted to put two pictures in here, sort of the landscaping to give you guys a visual. And then I laughed. I went, wow, there's a lot of green. That's just weeds because it's been raining. That's not actually landscaping.
Nope. That is not landscaped.
I know. Erica would be like, it's not that green. So anyways. So when we did the master planning, there was a list of unfunded projects. And so we just wanted to share those with you here again. These are the things that were on our prioritization list that are not funded at this point and could be.
And this was to come right after the bond presentation. So this is the idea, is that we would go out for an elementary bond potentially to be able to take care of these and some other needs that we have. So.
And these are not listed in any priority order, is that correct?
You know what? I actually think they were in the priority order that was in the master plan. Copied and pasted from that. So I think that is the end of my presentation.
Yep.
Any questions we haven't covered? Any comments, thoughts, concerns?
I don't know if this pertains to maybe it doesn't. But first, as a comment, I just want to thank the principals at HES and FMC for participating in that conversation last year in November, I think it was, when we met. And so they were able to provide us with feedback to what they felt like was a priority to their campuses. And then the second question is around a public comment that was made last year from, I believe it was the Healdsburg High School soccer team. Asking for maybe lighting at the junior high field.
It was actually around safety lighting. So kids would be out there playing and there's no lights, exterior lights. They weren't asking for the fields to be fully lit. And we've actually addressed that already. Yeah.
Awesome.
We did that as part of
Yeah.
I tagged that on the tail end of the field project.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's just a little bit of light, so it's not pitch black out there when you see it. Yeah.
Thank you.
Anything else?
It's been really exciting and satisfying to be on the board for the last 3 years and to watch these projects progress so beautifully. You've just done such a terrific job, and it's amazing. And I think we have to take a lot of pride in what we've done with the bond money and, and what is also on the docket for the future. It's pretty exciting.
I'll say personally, I've been in school work for 25 years now. And getting to work on my own kids' schools is like the best. So,
well, we like working with you too. So, thank you.
And please share that with the whole team. You tell them we love it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tanae.
All right. Up next, we have 11.2 student learning. 11.2A, we have the LCAP presented to us by Aaron.
Good evening.
That's fine.
So yeah, we're at mid-year. That feels good. Yeah, 100th day school's passed. So this is a new legal requirement for this year. We've generally done a mid-year update on LCAP, but this year it's a legal requirement. So we're meeting that before February 28th. What you have in the template there that was provided by the CDE, so that's the template that's in your document that's many pages long and is not necessarily the easiest thing to read. Isn't it not my doing? The CDE told us to use that, so we do. Much of this data you've already seen. Like it says, the data related to metrics identified in the LCAP of what's available. So data dashboard, you've heard. The LCAP, you've heard. No big surprises here. I want to highlight a few things just to kind of run us through. If you have the fun document in front of you. I'm on page 7, just some summary information. STAR data is showing significant growth from baseline, particularly for 2nd and 5th grade, from 31% of students in 2nd grade back in 2021. We hit 75% towards the end of last school year, and then you'll see in the kind of orangish color there, mid-year we were at 52%. So remember, the reason I'm calling this out is you can't look at 52 right now and compare it to 75 towards the end of last school year, right? This is growth data, right? We're expecting those 2nd graders to continue to grow, just like all of them. But we're seeing this nice trend from year to year. So we want to compare end of year to end of year. We all heard about the CASP, and I'm just going to skip extraordinary growth, particularly for K through 8 in mathematics. The data dashboard showed that significant growth from 22 to 23. English learner progress, significant improvement from the baseline of only 38% improving to 56%. We did see a dip of 4% this past year, and we talked about who those students were, kind of what the grade levels were. The most significant being from our K-1, where they take a different test. And we haven't had that growth data since before the pandemic. So in my opinion, we need one more year of data here. Generally, long-term trend data is headed in the right place. So we can see that significant decreases in the number of long-term English language learners from a high of 17 to 13 kids in 8 through 12 down to 5 to 7 long-term English language learners this year. So that trend growth, that big chunky data, we're seeing decreases and then maintaining 32 to 31% RFEP rate over the last 3 years. So just a little bit of summary there. Feel free to stop me and ask questions. Like I said, you've seen most of this in the data dashboard in particular. This is taken from that. The state wants us to maintain above 90%. And I want to remind us that that does not include our students who earn a GED, CHISP, a certificate of completion. So getting to 100% in a public school setting is nearly unheard of. As my favorite principal, one of my favorite principals used to say, every blueberry who shows up on our door, no matter how bright and shiny or bruised they are, we will serve them to our best. So understand there's different ways to complete high school, and we want to honor those kids. We did see a drop from the class of 22, a high of 97%, extraordinary. Only 2 students in the entire district did not graduate with a diploma. To a class of 2023 dropped down to 94%. Significant increase from 2020, which is 86%, which is about the county average. So we were roughly county average and have shown some nice increases. And the Latino students, amazing last year, 98%, and then a similar drop down to 93%. We remain the highest in Sonoma County for college and career, but I do think, as it's been pointed out by others, that continuing to compare ourselves to more similar districts. St. Helena, who's been basic aid for over 30 years, spends $35,000+ per student. But we want to look at it, right? And be as good as we can be. Calistoga has similar demographics, and Sonoma Valley similar demographics and spending. Our suspension rate, we did see a decline. That's good, right? You want suspension to go down. Down to 4.8%. Would have gone down a lot more, and you guys will hear more about this as we head into LCAP season. We did have significant number of suspensions at Marcy Becerra Academy that has put us into comprehensive support for Marcy Becerra for suspensions due to a couple of incidents that happened toward the end of last year. The really small population of students, right, 35 to 40 students, and so we're digging in on that and having some really important conversations around the district. About suspensions in general, but also particularly for our most at-risk students. Chronic absenteeism, we saw a decline of 7%. We talked about this before. Diane was helping me out, right? It's high across the state for a number of reasons, kind of the COVID after effect. And we're just getting the Youth Truth Survey. So we got that data in. We're getting the reports, starting to sift through it. And I think in April, is it, Diane, we're going to give Youth Truth? April, we'll give a Youth Truth data update. April? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the board update. Yeah. Another part of LCAP is taking stock of our expenditures and our actions. So how what are we getting done, and where are we spending the money? So you'll see that in the report. And proud, all the actions are being implemented and are on track to be completed. So we don't have anything where we've gone away from it, right? It's not that we're not doing any of these things, which is really nice. These are the actions and services that we've pretty much had for the last 3 years. What's happening right now is, literally spending time revising these, thinking as a cabinet district leadership team. Chris will be working with HADA leadership, and then we'll go out and do all of our educational partners meetings with faculty meetings, governance councils, ELACs. So this is the trailing edge here, right? This stuff honestly is starting to feel a little stale because we were writing this roughly 4 years ago. So I'm excited for the chance to do a pretty major revise that we'll be starting to bring to you guys in the next month and a half. We'll get some input from you guys, not in March, but in April, once we've had some chance. The detailed notes on expenditures are found in the mid-year LCAP report. You're going to hear a second interim next month. So just it's in the report, but I think working closely with Debbie and our new accountant in the report, you'll see the accounting of where we're at mid-year. And like I said, you'll get a detail on that second interim next month. Any questions?
No, thank you. Okay, I would like to suggest that we do not take a break following the reports. If that's okay with everybody, I think we could do reports and then go into the second part of the agenda.
I think that's good, but Debbie can be quite verbal,
Yeah.
but if she can hold it down, maybe we could go with it.
All right. Do we have any reports? Do we have a HEF report
I don't believe we have HEF.
or HADA?
Robin, do you have a HADA? Yeah.
Yes. All right.
Good evening. We had a little bit of a dry spot here. Good evening. I would like to thank you for your time, your energy, and we appreciate and support your questioning. We are very grateful for your listening and hearing us. Thank you.
Thank you. Do we have a CSEA report?
I don't think we have CSEA.
Do we have a
But we have
trustee
Thomas.
report? We do. I
Yeah.
love that. All right.
All right. So I will start with Healdsburg Junior High. So they just had an awards ceremony celebrating academic success. The PTO was kind enough to help them run it, put it on, and provided snacks and drinks for them. The wrestling season is underway, and students will compete in a tournament this weekend. Mr. Mendoza has started Lunchtime Kickball League, which sounds intensely fun, and I wish I still went to that school. And students have created their own teams, and they're going to compete. Power Hour is still going strong, so there's regular attendance after school, and students are able to get help with organization and homework. So that's basically their after-school homework help program. And their leadership class is preparing to give student-led tours to prospective students in the beginning of March. Moving on to Fitch Mountain campus, they are proud to host the Healdsburg Jazz Festival Black History Month Assembly at their school. So that will come up. And then the end of the second trimester is next Friday, March 1st. So teachers are busy doing the end of trimester assessments with their students. The fifth graders are going to science camp March 4th through 7th, and everyone is very excited about that. And their kindness giving drive spirit week is March 11th through the 15th.
May I ask you where the science camp is?
I am not sure.
Thank you.
So Walker Creek Ranch for those on Zoom.
Are we providing with rain gear for March?
No.
Survival skills.
Exactly. Survival skills. Science camp, right? So moving on to Healdsburg High School, the winter formal unfortunately had to be canceled. That was our winter dance put on by the sophomores. They didn't hit their goal of pre-ordering tickets, and there's a few reasons for that. A lot of our tickets we get bought at the door. Students don't prepare very well, and they show up at the door and buy the tickets. So they didn't hit their goal, and then it's also just a tough season with sports going on and winter sports ending and spring sports beginning. So unfortunately, that had to be canceled, but we did have our Valentine's Day rally, and one of the highlights of that rally was, I think it was our best rally of the year so far. One of the highlights was our kindness challenge. So Healdsburg High School has started this thing called a kindness challenge where teachers are able to nominate students who they think have produced acts of kindness around campus and that sort of thing. And I believe there were 4 winners at this rally, and so they were all nominated by teachers, and then they were put into a pool and chosen. And so each of these students was given one free item from the student store, so article of clothing, something like that. So we're proud of that kindness challenge, and that will continue into the rest of the year. And then the grading period ended today, and so teachers put in their final grades for this grading period, and that is all I have on Healdsburg High School. Any questions? Comments?
When's your first baseball game?
League or not league?
Just first game.
First game is tomorrow night.
Oh.
Our first scrimmage technically was last week, but
Gotcha.
First game is tomorrow night, and then our first league game is end of next week.
Okay.
Jumping right into it.
Hopefully it doesn't rain.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And do we have any reports by the Board of Trustees?
No, I do want to mention the elementary school dance that was put on just recently. I heard really great things about the school dance at the elementary school. And Read Across America Day is coming up, and I think the whole board is really excited to go into the school and read to the little ones.
Yes. Moving on to...
I just have a real quick one. Sorry. She's going to talk. I'm going to talk. No, I'm just kidding. I had the last month and this month, Linus Lancaster at the high school is, I'm not really sure the whole picture, but has actually got a group of us. I'm probably the least expert on plantings, but working with a Native American plant expert, the Russian riverkeeper, head of maintenance, et cetera, to walk around, a couple of Rotarians to walk around the campus and identify areas for planting, and again, using native plants, which is great. So I just want to let you know that's happening. I think the idea is obviously to make it more beautiful, but also to ultimately provide a challenge, I guess, for students to be able to identify plants and say, how is this one different than this one? So it's also a learning experience as well as beautification. So I just want you to let that's going on. It's actually pretty cool.
Cool. Anybody else? Any other student, or board trustees with a report? No? Okay. Moving on. 11.1, student business continued. 11.1C, we have the comprehensive school safety plan presented to us by Debbie.
It's that big binder there. Yeah. Try to pick it up.
Light reading.
Good evening. So back in, I believe it was December, I brought the first reading of the plan. Since then, I have finalized the plan with help from many people. It's a big project. A few things that have been changed moving forward is we're working on the getting rid of the C trains and adding class kits in the classrooms. when I came back with the first reading and gave you a number of staff that had done the AVERT training, I believe it was like 17. The true number is 50. So I'm really happy about that. Moving forward, we're having a hard time getting staff to train. And I think one of the main reasons is it's 3 hours long. And they already have a long day and then 3 hours more. So we're looking at bringing it forward to the PD days in the fall and offering different sessions while they have free days and getting more staff trained. And we're also looking at making a simpler, smaller training, just highlighting a few things to make it only an hour and a half so more staff can attend. We've met with the Healdsburg Police Department, and we're working with them to possibly come in the fall and do a district-wide training and just go over updates, because what we do with safety is changing all the time. It's forever changing, and we just want to stay current. Just recently ordered blackout shades for the junior high. HES and Fitch were already done last year. We've ordered them for the junior high. And next year will be the high school. So that will be for all of the window doors and all of the places that don't have any coverage. That's pretty much all I have for updates. It's been reviewed by the police department. They've signed off on it. The fire department's been busy and hasn't gotten to it yet, but they'll get to it before March 1st, and they will be reviewing it and signing off on it as well. Any questions?
So we do need an approval, so we need a motion in a second.
I'll motion.
I'll second.
Okay.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye. Thank you, Debbie.
You're welcome.
Now we moving on to 11.1D, HES improvement project.
Yeah, HVAC.
Like, do I say it?
So the original lease back agreement for with GCCI for the HVAC improvement project at HES was already approved. This amendment is bringing forward the project that Tanea spoke to earlier about the demolition of the 2 portables and removing them and adding a turf in for the TK area. So that's what this amendment here is for.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. All right. Now, moving on to 11.1E, approval of quotes from
Reslight.
Reslight.
Yeah.
This is for the Frost Hall modernization project at the high school this summer. This is for the new wrestling mat.
Cool.
All right. Do I have
Which
a
I
motion?
think
So I have a question. We need a new wrestling, I'm just curious, we need a new wrestling mat, or is this one that goes with the Frost Hall improvement?
It goes with the improvement project, but they do need a new mat.
Okay.
I was
It's
in
an
there
opportune time.
I was in there yesterday actually, and it's
Pretty bad.
it could.
And they, when they get old, they become medical issues, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
All right. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. 11.1F, approval of contract with Sourcewell.
So this is Tanea spoke about the playground equipment at both HES and FMC. With the FMC project, this was already bid with the contract. HES, it wasn't. So this is a separate contract to bring in the playground equipment at HES that will be installed this summer.
All right.
And we went through Sourcewell and got a really good price on this. Even though it's a lot of money, it's a really good price. We got a good discount.
So exciting. So moved.
I enthusiastically second.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. And 11.1G, 2024-2025 HUSD district school calendar.
Yeah. So this is just a first read of a draft calendar. We have provided it with our bargaining units, and we'll talk to them more before it comes back for a second and approval. But it's pretty similar to this year. There's actually no major changes. So.
All right.
I think the major change is going to make teachers happy, and that the Friday after Halloween is going to be a PD day.
Yes.
Love that.
Yes. Yeah,
It
that is
just happened to
excellent
fall
in
that way. We
calendaring
take
there.
advantage every time we can. So yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
What's the first day of school, Chris?
I don't have it in front of me. I believe it's the 15th. Yeah. It is.
15th of August.
That's my anniversary. So yeah.
Oh,
26. So yeah.
All right.
26.
11.1H, 2024 California School Board Association.
So we have two. So you have a choice. You can nominate one of two people. I don't have the names, but one is a trustee from Bennett Valley, who is named,
Jeremy Brott.
and he's the incumbent. And then we have, is it Jennifer?
Stephanie Manieri.
Stephanie Manieri from Santa Rosa City Schools, both interested in CSBA delegate assembly. You can also choose not to vote. So, but we would be voting on a delegate for CSBA.
Together.
Up to you. I think it's just for one, right? Yeah. So we need as a board.
Like a board approval of
Yeah.
the delegate.
If you can't agree, then you don't vote. So yeah.
Well, I will nominate Stephanie.
So we have a motion to vote for Stephanie. Is there a second?
Oh, I know Stephanie.
Okay.
You know Stephanie? I know of Stephanie and her work. Well, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'll second that nomination.
All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Stephanie, it is.
All
Okay.
right. Congratulations, Stephanie. And is that it?
That's it. Is there any board comments or requests for information?
No? All right.
know.
Well, calling the meeting to,
Is it ending the meeting?
yeah.
We are done. Gavel us out. Awesome.
Cool.